the acquisition's been, it was approved 9 months ago. And, how would you guys think how would you say it's going in the first 9 months?
Well, Jeff, I'll jump in first. I think great, to be honest. I think it's been going great. We've had a couple of key themes that we've been trying to, set annual priorities for the company. And one is blocking and tackling for the QS1 business. If you look at the two businesses within RedSail, Pioneer and QS1, the strategies are extremely different. And we've tried to be as transparent as we possibly can about what we're going to do. So, you brought up when these things happen, are things going to, great companies, and are things going to change drastically? Our theme for Pioneer is don't have things change drastically. Pioneer is the most innovative company in the market. And I'll let Jeff talk about what we've accomplished in the last 9 months on innovation. It's been a lot. So we've tried really hard to not change a lot there. On the QS1 side, we've tried to change a lot. We don't want that company to be the same company it was when we bought QS1. We focused really, really hard at improving product quality, getting everybody onto the same two latest releases, and improving service quality. And the data is showing that the hard work's paying off. The QS1 service and support metrics are 180 degrees better than before RedSail owned the company. If you call, you don't wait to talk to somebody. When you talk to somebody, they solve your problem. The release quality is dramatically higher. And so we have been really trying to change that company, and we've been investing on the QS1 side. We'll be launching next year the first cloud-based long-term care pharmacy platform in the market. And so we're investing as well. But on the retail side, what we tell our QS1 customers is, we are happy for you to stay on NRX. It's now a high-quality solution. We'll continue to invest in it. It's great support. But if you want innovation, before RedSail purchased Pioneer and after, the place you go is Pioneer.
Yep.
And so we've been spending a lot of time on that. And the third area we can get into later is around kind of how do we invest to make sure that if you're part of the RedSail network, whether you're Pioneer or QS1, you're able to take advantage of some of the scaling and technology that we think we can bring to the pharmacy market, and we can get into it. Those are the three areas. And so far, my message is, and my assessment is, that the market's been responding quite well. There was a bit of period of time where we had to make sure we were going out doing things like this, where folks were nervous about private equity. It doesn't always end up well in these markets. And like any product, you can have Pioneer's a great solution. You can have multiple different types of private equity firms. The one that we partner with invests in technology to drive growth, and that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, good. I want to talk more about the private equity a little bit later, but Jeff, Marsha, what have you seen as far as, how do you think the first 9 months is going?
Well, one of the big things that happened to us with COVID, and dealing with the fact that I had pharmacists that I care about emailing me at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's when they were still working, saying, hey, we got to have help, and here's what I'm struggling with, and can we work on this? And so we spent a lot of energy on making vaccinations easier to enter into the pharmacy system. Most of these patients were new patients to them, which was a huge opportunity. And their opportunity to market themselves to these people. But you put in new patient, allergies, you put all this stuff in from scratch, you're talking, 5 minutes or so, times people were doing 1,000 vaccines a week, was just nuts. And just a lot of sleeplessness thinking about what they were doing and trying to pass that sense of urgency down to the developers who are working on a solution. And, we rolled out some solutions to speed that up, some wizards for doing vaccines that put things together, some ways to import some things from some of the outside schedulers that people were doing. We worked on a vaccination scheduler that we didn't get in time for that, but is out in beta now. We will have time for the boosters, a free vaccine scheduler that we're actually going to make available to the whole pharmacy market. Spent a lot of time this year thinking about conversations I've had with you and about how in the pandemic that people realized independent pharmacy was better than they thought, and I'm talking about people outside of the world of community pharmacy, but really kept coming back with, how do I deal with them? How do I work with them? One of the things we found out with RedSail and having 10,000 pharmacies, people started coming out of the woodwork and going, hey, are you a way that we could work with independent pharmacy? We really want to. We just can't figure out how. Can you do something? And trying to think about what are the things that, and it came up in our innovation board meeting where we talked about, you said the same thing, say, hey, this is how we're going. And so we're doing a lot of time thinking and working on that and thinking about how do we bring them together. Some things that we think about is a common way to find them. And we have a pharmacy finder that it doesn't matter. You're not bonused whether you're on Pioneer or not. It's community pharmacy based to search based on the features that you do for a community pharmacy. Our vaccine scheduler is integrated within that. So you can find somebody who's doing vaccinations.
Well, more importantly, Jeff's touching on the pharmacy finder, but the pharmacy finder is really, it helps patients look for pharmacies and not Walgreens or CVS. It's show me an independent pharmacy around me. But while the patient doesn't know the difference between, independent and community like we've defined it, it's really trying to point them more towards the corner mom and pop shops that really care more about the patient than a CVS or Walgreens.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. We'll talk more, or I'll ask some questions more about how to make it easy to work with independents, because, and Jeff, you alluded to it, that is a big takeaway from the pandemic that we've heard is, first of all, who are independents? We only know CVS and Walgreens from our friends across the river here in Alexandria in the White House and in Congress and at the agencies. But then they understand, independent pharmacies, we understand in a public health emergency how important they are. How do we find them? And so we'll talk more. I've got some questions for you guys about that because it seems like technology would be a key pillar to that, to solving for that.